Today I'm gonna eat like Deku all day, but there are a few conditions. One of them is we need to eat like both of his senpais, and the other one is we need to train like him to get a good feel of what we need to do. But right now, it's time for a little bit of research. Now, according to the fandom, Deku is around 5'5", but we don't have an actual weight. So I'm gonna estimate that he's around 122 pounds at that height for that age. With all that in mind, when we throw his numbers into this macro calculator, accounting for the fact that you can only put it up to 18, so we're gonna reduce some of the numbers, we're gonna say he needs to eat around 2,500 calories for the day to gain a half a pound per week, which comes out to 150 grams worth of protein, 70 grams worth of fat, and 300 grams worth of carbs. So we are going to head back down to the lab and start making all of our food for the day. Oh, Kat, you are so hot right now. I'm sorry, buddy. You know how hot it is right now? Okay, we gotta go make food. So with all that in mind, we're going to eat like Gran Torino for breakfast, but I also have to make lunch right now because I have a very special thing we're gonna be doing for lunch and dinner. So for breakfast, I'm making a red bean taiyaki. Now this is super simple. I'm taking soaked red beans, cooking them for about 2 to 3 hours until they're completely mush, adding in around a half a cup worth of sugar, 2 by 2 cups worth of red beans, cooking this down further until a lot of that liquid has evaporated. You wanna constantly stir this until it becomes a nice thick paste, and then we have to cool this down completely. Now for the batter. The batter is also super simple. This is 150 grams worth of flour, 50 grams worth of tapioca starch, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon worth of baking soda and baking powder, a couple of tablespoons worth of oil, around 270 milliliters worth of water. Stir this thing up until it is nice and smooth, almost like a pancake batter. Here's the interesting though with taiyaki is it's primarily carbohydrates. So with that in mind, I'm also going to be making an egg taiyaki. This is just 2 whole scrambled eggs, just with a touch of butter in the pan, making them into nice eggy curds. Place this to a separate container to cool down completely. And there we have an egg ready for our taiyaki. Now, because I'm actually not going to be here to make lunch, we're gonna make lunch to go. And lunch to go is going to be Deku's favorite Katsudon. This is 4 pork cutlets that are already cut really thin from the market. I'm dredging them in some seasoned flour, followed by some seasoned egg wash, which when I say seasoned, it's just salt and black pepper, and then hitting it with a bit of panko at the end. I like to make sure that I coat every single one of these before I start deep frying, so all of my mise en place and my prep is ready to go. I cracked 2 more eggs into my egg wash, so this way I can just use all of this for the eggs later. Now over a medium-high heat, I have just a little bit of oil in my pan, and this is where I'm going to start shallow frying everything. So as soon as I put 2 pieces in there, I make sure I take in a ton of water because we're gonna need it for what's to come. Now once these 2 are done frying, I'm immediately putting them onto a rack to start cooling down and then frying up the other 2, so this way I can keep the ball rolling. Now once I have all my pork ready to go, I really need to start on my eggy soup broth thing. This is just some soup-based stock that I have with a bit of soy sauce, followed by all of those eggs that I cracked earlier, along with some onion. Because I'm making a bento, I decided to do it like this to keep my pork as crispy as possible. Once I have all the egg in there, this is when I want to throw a lid on it and let it steam for around 2 or 3 minutes until that egg is cooked. I'm placing this to the side just until I'm ready to go. Now I need to start making my taiyaki. In my taiyaki pan that I've lightly greased, I start placing in some of my batter into this, followed by a nice hefty chunk of my red bean paste. On top of that red bean, I'm spreading more batter over the top of it just to make sure that red bean gets fully covered before I decide to close the lid on it and flip it, because if you don't, you're gonna have problems. I really hope I didn't burn these. They kind of smell a little overdone. Like I said, you're gonna have problems. But honestly, these don't look too bad. Pretty hefty plate of food. Now with my 4 cutlets, I am making 4 taiyaki. 2 of them were the red bean and 2 of them are going to be this eggy one. Those are really full. I don't think I can fit the rest of this in there. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm making sure I put batter right on top of that egg. These ones look like they're gonna be a disaster. But we're at the home stretch. Honestly, didn't come out as bad as I thought it would. There's a little bit of like burnt stuff around the edges, but we'll take care of that. Remember when your mom would take the burnt end of the toast and just scrape it with a knife? That's kind of what I'm doing here. Now I'm stuffing my bento with 250 grams worth of rice, making sure it's packed down really well, and then loading it up with all of that egg and onion mixture from earlier. I'm just hoping it all fits. It'll fit. This is fine. Everything is going to be fine with this amount of pork that I'm going to have for lunch. I like to make sure that all my pork is nicely sliced, and I'm placing this over a bit of greens just to help it, I don't know, make it feel healthier. This one might not fit. I had asked you guys whether or not I should make spicy karage or katsudon, and the voting was kind of split, so I'm using Carl's Balls Scorpion hot sauce to place right on top of my katsudon to make everybody happy. Crispy pork, I apologize for compacting you into this thing. This is supposed to have like a strap that goes around it, and I can't find it, so we're gonna improvise. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. What we really gotta do is put this in the fridge. Now I finally get to have breakfast, and it is 9:45 in the morning, so I'm gonna enjoy 1 of each right now, and then the 2 in the car. Cheers. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, I didn't think it was gonna be that hot. Oh, really good. You see all the egg in there? Now for the red bean. Look at that red bean. I love red bean though, it's so good. Okay. It's time to get to work. I feel like the best place to do training like Deku did is here at the beach, just like he did before he inherited One For All. So I found a really killer workout from superherojack.com, which we're gonna do right now in front of Haystack Rock. Does this look like I'm punching it? It took over 2 hours to drive this bento over the beach, so I'm gonna make the most of it. I'm starting off by jogging back and forth to the shoreline, and this is so much further than it looks, and it actually tired me out. I then did around 15 to 20 push-ups starting off, and then holding that position for around 15 to 20 seconds, followed by another 10 to 15 push-ups, and repeated this basically until I collapsed. I had to do this multiple times, and I wanted to choose body weight exercises, along with a little bit of weighted exercises, and this is just with my one wheel at around 35 pounds. I did another 3 sets worth of push-ups, bringing the total to around 100 push-ups just for this section. I also did around 75 presses with the one wheel, and then finished it with some diamond push-ups. The diamond push-ups are actually hitting a different muscle group and can actually be a tricep exercise, so this is really hitting a bunch of different muscles. Doing it in the sand was really difficult, so I ended up trying to do it on my knuckles, which didn't really help that much, but it felt like everything was on fire, not only because it was actually on fire, but because it was incredibly hot at the beach that day. I ended up jogging back and forth to the shore 3 to 4 more times to make sure I got my cardio in, and absolutely was gassed, but I had to get a couple more sets in. This entire workout is at superherojack.com if you want to check them out. Whew. I wanted to do one more sprint back and forth to the shore after a few push-ups to really finish this thing out. I am absolutely gassed after all of this. I just finished the workout. It took about 35 minutes, and I feel like I'm gonna throw up the taiyaki I had, but we still have to have lunch, and we have to eat it pretty soon because it's not on ice or anything, so it might go bad. And I thought after that workout that All Might would be able to give me some of his hair. So with that first workout out of the way, there are 2 workouts today. We finally get to eat our bento box. If I can get this freaking tape off of it. Whew, like it might be a little soggy. I mean, that's still not too shabby, huh? The other problem is, I forgot a fork and or chopsticks and or spoon. I'm gonna rinse my hands and hope that's enough. Oh, I do have an alcohol wipe. Did I forget a towel too? This is okay. We got an extra t-shirt. Hands are wiped. That is very strong. And I'm just gonna dig in, you know? Because it's 2 p.m. and we still have another workout and we have to, yes, make dinner. That Carl's Balls sauce is so spicy. Is the pork good? Yes. Would it have been better at home fresh? Yes. Sound like Captain Falcon. Messy situation is the rice. Look at that, how compact that is. It's so much rice and egg. Oh, that's delicious though. The rice like soaked up all the egg and all the sauce. What's interesting is the flavor of the bento is actually very different than having this fresh at home in different ways, good and bad. The rice and the egg taste way better this way, but the pork isn't crispy. It's still good, it's just not crispy. This is still no excuse. I'm absolutely going to devour this entire thing. Absolutely crushed this lunch. This was freaking delicious, especially after that workout. Phase 2 of our workout, I'm really excited about because we're supporting a good cause, and that's Team C's. Now, in honor of Team C's, I am once again headed back to the beach where we're gonna do phase 2 of our workout. So I swung by a Sleepy Monk coffee shop and they gave me another cold brew, and I asked them to charge me for the other coffee and they refused. It really did warm my heart for someone to do that. They absolutely didn't have to do that, and I really appreciate it. So guys, if you want some amazing coffee, I'm gonna put all their links down below. Buy their stuff. They're the sweetest people I've ever met. Now for the second part of this training, we're gonna walk all the, where is it? You can't even see it. You can't even see Haystack Rock. It's over there in the clouds where my straw is. We're gonna walk all the way there and back, and for every step that I take today, I'm gonna donate a penny to Team C's. Now, I'm also gonna donate a penny for every subscriber we get for this video. And so begins my task of getting to Haystack Rock. It looks so far away, but I wanna make sure that I get in as much cardio and as many steps as possible, so begins my journey to Haystack Rock. Now, this is again for a great cause, but also getting these steps in helps out with your cardio. The biggest benefit is that it actually makes me more hungry for dinner that we have to make later. We're only at around 7,000 steps and Haystack is still way over there. It's a lot further than I thought it was gonna be. We still gotta walk back to make dinner. So I keep walking and I keep walking and I keep getting closer and closer until finally I have arrived at Haystack Rock, and this thing is majestic. I just want to take it all in, enjoy the scenery. Maybe instead of touching grass, we touch water today because this is a beautiful day. We finally made it to Haystack Rock. Woo! 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 That's cold. I have wet socks now. I got too close. Now that I have wet socks, we gotta walk all the way back and start making dinner. I wonder what it's like to live in one of those houses right there. That's a view, right? Nothing is more pleasant than walking on the beach in shoes that are completely soaked where your socks are filled with sand and filled with water, but it was absolutely worth it. Finally made it to our starting point, and there's Haystack all the way over there. Finally get to go make dinner. I have something special for you guys. I think you're gonna like it. It's so simple and so delicious. This is nice. This is really good. Oh my God. We've hit 12,214 steps. So I'm gonna donate $122.14 to Team Seas. If you guys wanna donate to a great cause like ocean conservation, you can check out the links below. And if you wanna check out Sleepy Monk Coffee for being the most generous people I've met in a long time, go ahead and check out their stuff. They do have stuff available down below. My name is Chef PK, and remember, keep playing with your food. If you wanna see me eat like Goku, click over here. So dope. Oh my God.